So you've battled the legendary Palkia and Dialga, and you chill near the pasture with these two behemoths thinking life is good. But you remember that maybe there was this third legendary and you were like, wait a sec, I want to catch it too. Now you realize that the story didn't just end despite you already hitting the credits, and that there's a post-game campaign quest waiting for you. Oh, and do you remember there were also those little floating bits of ember around the region? Yeah, there's like 106 of them. And also, why is everyone on Twitter posting pictures of shiny Pokemon? Don't fret. I'm gonna break down all the content the endgame of Pokémon Legends Arceus has to offer, and what specifically you should look forward to and pursue. Drop a like, follow me on Twitter, sub to this channel, and let's get to it. Alright, first things first, you gotta find the 5 missing Arceus plates. There are 18 in all, with the main story giving you 12 as you progress throughout the game. Once you hit the post-game, Kagita mentions there are 5 still missing, and she mentions where you can find the missing plates. Most of them involve chasing down mythical Pokemon. However, the easiest one is to go straight to Prelude Beach and battle Commander Kamado. His team's no joke, and if your Pokemon are at a decent enough level, you'll still be able to make quick work of him obtaining the Fight Plate. Now, you can chase down the remaining 4 plates in any order that you choose. Still, I strongly recommend you go after Heatran for 2 simple reasons. Heatran drops the Iron Plate, which you'll need for another legendary. There are also a lot of mud balls that spawn in when you start the encounter with him in the volcano at Firespit Island. You will want to run around grabbing as many of these mud balls as possible because they'll come in real handy. For starters, they pretty much remove any need to battle the legendary and mythical Pokemon, and they make the encounters easy as hell. Just chuck the mud balls at them to stun, and then attempt to backstrike with the lead-in or another type of heavy ball, and just rinse and repeat. Next, we've got Moonview Arena to catch Cresselia. Careful when you approach her though, because Cresselia has a pretty annoying confusion attack that will immediately invert your controls if you're hit by it. In terms of handling the encounter, the same rules apply. Throw the mud balls and profit. Soon after, it is Regigigas up at Snow Temple, and if the wall in the Snow Temple remains closed, chances are you're missing one of the required Arceus plates. Make sure you have the stone, ice, and iron plates, and then access to Regigigas will be granted inside the temple. After you're done there, it is time to chase down 3 more mythical Pokemon. Go to each of the lakes where Uxie, Azulf, and Mesprit reside and catch them. They're fairly painless, as long as you have enough mud balls and you keep hitting them with the lead and back strikes. Once you catch all 3, you'll get the final missing plate that Kagita requested. Only issue is when you return to Kagita and Volo, they'll mention that there is still 1 extra plate missing. Go through the remaining story beats and cutscenes before meeting up with Volo at the Spear Pillar, where you previously fought Palkia and Dialga. I'm gonna tell you right now, Volo and his stupid finger wag have the final plate. And a quick word of warning, definitely have your strongest team with you, and be stocked up on supplies because things can get a little dicey from this point if you walk in unprepared. A climactic battle awaits with literally 3 battles back to back, so be sure to save your game before triggering the fight. You'll have to deal with Volo's team, which is pretty stacked and worthy of a champion in any of the other games, but the real surprise occurs right after the battle, as Giratina will soon appear and attack. Do not bother trying to catch this one, because you can't. Your only choice is to make it faint, not just in one, but both of its regular and origin form. When you've done this, you are more or less finished with any main narrative points in the game, and now it is time to dig into all of the remaining loose ends. Everyone loves the starters, and odds are you'd like to get as many of the starters as possible, right? Well, to get to the remaining 2 Legends Arceus starters and their Hisui and forms, simply talk to Laventon in his office. Easy, right? Space-time distortion rifts are incredible, and they have so many awesome and rare items on the ground for you to pick up. You'll also find a lot of strong and rare Pokemon within those rifts. Get the jump on some of the evolution stones or trading by catching an already evolved Flareon or Gengar right off the bat. It feels awesome, and you'll want to explore as many space-time rifts as possible since different Pokemon will spawn in different rifts. Turnback Cave is up next, because I know you might be a little salty that you couldn't catch Giratina right off the bat. Do not worry, the legendary is waiting for you just fine in the Turnback Cave, which can easily be found near the Cobalt Coastlands at the top left of the regional map. The strategy remains the same as the other legendaries, although you may have to actually battle this time. Paralysis and Ultra Balls are your friends here, and once you've successfully caught Giratina, you'll even find a Gracious Core as well. I hope you're not tired of all these legendaries and mythical Pokemon to chase, because we got an influx of a couple more. We now have the legendary trio of Gen 5, which will appear with certain weather conditions. You've got Tornadus, which can be found in the Bone Chill Waste near the Alabaster Icelands, and he'll only appear during a blizzard. Thundurus, on the other hand, will appear over the sea and the Cobalt coastlands only if heavy rain is pouring. And lastly, the third of the trio is Landorus, and you can catch it in the Obsidian Fieldlands in sunny weather. Keep in mind that if you are not getting the weather that you need, simply resting at a camp tent can be enough to change the weather. If you cause the legendaries to faint too, don't worry, just leave the area and rest and return right back under the right conditions and they'll have respawned. But if you're paranoid like me, then simply just save the game before you encounter them. Once you catch all three, you might think that's it, right? But wait. There's more. There's a brand new Pokemon that debuts in Legends Arceus for the first time ever, Enamorous, which is a fairy type. Enamorous will only be approachable after you get the research level for the trio to level 10. And if you can complete Enamorous' Pokedex entry as well, you will receive a Reveal Glass item which will transform Landorus, Thundurus, and Tornadus into their Therian forms. A huge chunk of the endgame's appeal for me personally is chasing all these legendaries down, but Legends Arceus has plenty of side quests for players to complete too that are also connected to some of these mythical Pokemon. Two side quests in particular are connected to Shaymin and Darkrai. However, to unlock access to the quest, you will need save files from Brilliant Diamond or Shining Pearl and Sword or Shield. If you do have save files on your Switch, just go to the request board near Laventon and you'll find two new quests that reference Shaymin and Darkrai. Now is also a good time to chip away at some of the lengthier fetch quests, such as collecting all 28 unknown Pokemon, as well as those floating embers that are required to obtain Spiritomb. Spiritomb's embers are scattered well out among the region, and they will be sure to keep players busy for a good chunk of time. While we've got all this collecting momentum, it is a good time to complete the Pokedex as much as we can to gain access to the ultimate final Pokemon, Arceus itself. To do this, you will need a complete Pokedex, which means catching a bunch and leveling those Pokemon up to evolve and carrying out the various tasks that the Pokedex requires. Suppose you'd rather battle your Pokemon instead of catching them. In that case, there are repeatable encounters that you can farm with any team to give yourself some challenges. For starters, all the noble Pokemon you dealt with throughout the story, they're ready for rematches with no limit to how many times you can battle them again. Their levels are significantly higher, although most mechanics work the same. Think of it as kinda like re-challenging the Elite Four in the prior games. Also be sure to visit the training grounds and talk to Ingo. He'll ask you who you'd like to challenge, and you can pick from a wide variety of different trainers ready to duke it out. The experience gains here are pretty generous too, so if you got the itch to raise your Pokemon to level 100, this is definitely a solid place to do it. Eventually, you can also face off against Palkia, Dialga, and Arceus once again, but at a far higher level. If you successfully catch Arceus, the option will open up for you to challenge off against Palkia, Dialga, and Arceus once again, but at a far higher level. All you have to do is you just travel back to Spear Pillar and you can battle a level 85 Palkia or Dialga, or a level 100 Arceus. Now, details are scarce, but we do know that Legends Arceus is expected to have Pokemon Home support later in the year, so why not prepare? If you'd like, you should start min-maxing your Pokemon, getting advantageous nature mints and leveling them up with competitive moves that suit your battle strategy. This way you'll have a solid team ready to roll the moment that you can transfer your Pokemon over to Pokemon Home. Alright, last but definitely not least, we have got shiny hunting. Shiny Pokemon, for those of you new to the franchise, are easily some of the most coveted Pokemon in the game, with an incredibly rare encounter rate. The odds of encountering a shiny in Legends Arceus is 1 out of 4,096, basically a 0.024% chance. However, there are ways to dramatically increase your odds, and they rely on the new Outbreak system. In the endgame, whenever you embark to another area, the guardsman will turn and let you know if an outbreak has been spotted nearby. You can see which Pokemon there is an outbreak of, and save your game before heading to the outbreak. If you don't see a shiny Pokemon, simply restart the game. The odds for a mass outbreak shiny end up being about 1 out of 158, a huge improvement. Suppose you have a level 10 entry in the Pokedex, or a perfect Pokedex and acquired a shiny charm. In that case, your odds will increase even further, but the mass outbreak has an incredibly high floor for the average player. Now, it goes without saying that Pokémon Legends Arceus has incredibly revamped the Pokémon formula, but it is nice to see the endgame kind of have a similar pace to that of the prior games. Let me know in the comments what your favorite part of Legends Arceus was, and what next legendary Pokemon Game Freak should make a sequel for. Until next time.